Eddie George obviously was hired as head coach of Bowling Green, and he talked about Coach Prime and how Coach Prime has paved the way for ex-NFL players into college coaching. Take a listen. We'll get your take after.
Definitely started this. I actually called Prime and asked him, can I be successful at doing this, having no coaching experience? And he says, yes, you are the CEO of your program. You played the game. I very rarely do I call plays. And I was like, that makes sense.
So you spoke to Coach Prime before you got into head coaching at an HBCU. Did you talk to Deion before you made that move from Tennessee State up to the MAC and Bowling Green?
Yeah, he's a part of it. I rely on a few guys. Jerome Bettis, one, Deion. Just trying to get a sense of, is this a good opportunity? Given the timing of this, it was a very difficult decision to make, but one that I feel good about in my gut, and I feel like it was time, and I think is a great opportunity to do it. So,
Sean, what are your thoughts, Eddie George leaving Tennessee State after I think they had a pretty good season this past year out here and going to Bowling Green, and then his comments on Coach Prime paving the way for ex-NFL players going into college coaching?
I'm super proud and happy for Eddie. I think the job he did at Tennessee State was excellent.
Great.
One thing about, and this is just me being transparent and honest, so don't attack me, if you're listening to this, but the one thing that a lot of head coaches at HBCUs complain about is arguing about finances, arguing about trying to get resources. So even though Bowling Green is not a top-tier program, they still have better resources in that MAC conference than you're going to get at most of your HBCUs, and that's unfortunate. So it is a promotion for Eddie, and I think he can have short-term success, but he's got to have a plan to get in and out of Bowling Green. And here's the reason. He won't be able to keep any of his good players.
Yeah, not this day and age.
I believe he'll evaluate at a good level. He'll recruit at a high level. The problem is the MAC plays at the weirdest times. And
yeah, that's true.
It's good because it gives them exposure, but it's bad because it gives them exposure. Because every big-time program has one person in their player personnel department and their recruiting department that they have, hey, man, just watch the MAC game on Tuesday. Watch the MAC game on Wednesday. See if there are any offensive, defensive linemen that look like they can play. Like, see who the best player. You know what I'm saying? It's a standalone game as opposed to if they played on Saturdays when it's 200 games, you might get away with having, like, a really, really experienced and good right side of your offensive line.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the exposure is great for the program, but it's bad when you're trying to keep your players, man.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sean. Especially the portal, the way it is, and the way it's structured, and it's gonna stay this way. I gotta ask you, Coach Prime paving the way for ex-NFL players going into college coaching. We've seen success with Coach Prime, obviously, and some others, Eddie George as well. We're seeing more ex-NFL players going into college coaching. Deshaun Jackson, Delaware State, obviously, we've talked about. He's in a tough rebuild situation, as with Michael Vick at Norfolk State. I got to ask you the biggest keys for their success going into college coaching in this way from going from playing the NFL.
Just be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Be true to yourself. Whoever you are, just be that person every day. And listen, this is way overdue. The NFL has been college football has been the absolute worst when it comes to promoting former professional athletes to positions of power in the coaching infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been really, really hard. It's almost a detriment for you to want to get into college coaching and have played in the National Football League if you aspire to be a coordinator or higher. If you just want to go be a position coach and kind of stay out the way and don't make no noise, then they're comfortable with that. But if you got real aspirations, I mean, you're going to get a lot of pushback because you didn't go through the process. You weren't a GA, you didn't. Well, damn it, if you could have played or you were good enough to play NFL football, guess what? You're the one that played NFL football. Dude, no, don't act like that should be a negative, towards, my ability to lead men. And I think what Deion exposed and what Eddie George is exposing is that as college football turns into more of a Fortune 500 company type of business. Now you got GMs. Now you can pay your coordinators enough that they run, but your head coach he's the manager of people. And there are a lot of guys that are former players in that league that are strong men, that can motivate men, that come from backgrounds that allow them to hold people accountable. So I think you're going to see this become more prominent slowly. Because you got to understand the apparatus that hires head coaches in collegiate sports at the real destination jobs, that hasn't changed or evolved yet. So
yeah, that's true. And we'll see. The Michael Vick success and Deshaun Jackson's success, and see how they go going forward. But like you mentioned, it's long overdue. And as we see more former NFL players assimilate into college coaching, we'll see if the higher powers in these bigger schools end up making a splash move like Colorado did a couple years ago.